Welcome back to Days of Our Lives channel. Today, you will learn about the explosive developments coming to Salem during the pivotal week of September 1st to 5th, where shocking revelations threatened to tear apart carefully constructed facades and long-buried secrets finally surface to devastate unsuspecting residents. Chad Dimmo's world-shattering discovery. The tranquil atmosphere surrounding Chad Dimmo's budding romance with Kat Green is about to be obliterated by a discovery so disturbing it will fundamentally alter his perception of the woman he's grown to trust. Sources close to the production revealed that Chad's investigation into Kat's mysterious behavior will lead him down a rabbit hole of deception that goes far deeper than anyone imagined. The risky move that Kat makes this week isn't just a simple miscalculation, it's a desperate gambit that could expose her entire undercover operation with the ESA. Insiders suggest that Chad will stumble upon evidence of Kat's covert activities while she believes she's operating in complete secrecy. The timing couldn't be more catastrophic, as their relationship has reached a crucial turning point where genuine feelings have begun to override their complicated history. Chad's discovery will reportedly involve witnessing Kat in a compromising situation that she simply cannot explain away with her usual deflection tactics. The emotional fallout from this revelation promises to be devastating for both parties. Chad, who has slowly begun to open his heart again after Abigail's tragic death, will feel betrayed by someone he was beginning to trust completely. Meanwhile, Kat will face the agonizing choice between maintaining her cover for a mission that could save lives and preserving the authentic connection she's developed with the man who has become far more than just another assignment. Sophia Choi's mounting crisis. Sophia Choi finds herself trapped in an increasingly precarious situation that threatens to expose the elaborate web of lies she and Melinda Trask have constructed around baby Tesoro. The big problem Sophia encounters this week stems from the unraveling threads of their fraudulent adoption scheme, which is beginning to attract unwanted attention from multiple sources. Her desperation to maintain the charade while simultaneously pursuing Tay Black creates a perfect storm of complications that even her usually sharp mind struggles to navigate. The pressure intensifies as Sophia realizes that her carefully orchestrated plan to eliminate Holly Jonas' competition or Tate's affections is backfiring spectacularly. Her obsessive behavior becomes more pronounced and erratic, drawing concerned looks from classmates and adults alike. Sources indicate that Sophia's emotional state deteriorates significantly as she grapples with the mounting evidence that her schemes are crumbling around her. What makes Sophia's predicament particularly dangerous is her refusal to acknowledge the severity of her situation. Instead of cutting her losses and retreating, she doubles down on her manipulative tactics, convinced that if she can just eliminate the right obstacles, everything will fall into place according to her fantasies. This psychological blind spot transforms her from a scheming teenager into a genuinely unstable individual whose actions become increasingly unpredictable and potentially harmful. Brady Black and Steve Johnson's explosive investigation. Brady Black's world is about to be rocked by the troubling information Steve Johnson uncovers during his deep dive investigation into Sophia's mysterious circumstances. The veteran private investigator's instincts prove razor sharp as he begins to piece together the inconsistencies in Sophia's adoption story, leading him down a path that will expose Melinda Trask's latest illegal machinations. Steve's investigation reveals that the adoption attorney supposedly handling Sophia's case exists only on papyrus fabrications so elaborate that it initially fooled even experienced legal professionals. This discovery opens a Pandora's box of questions about who has been orchestrating this deception and why. The trail leads directly to Melinda Trask, whose dark history of manipulating adoption proceedings for personal gain threatens to finally catch up with her in the most devastating way possible. The information Steve presents to Brady carries implications that extend far beyond the simple case of adoption fraud. It suggests a pattern of criminal behavior that could result in serious federal charges at everyone involved. Brady's reaction to these revelations will be particularly intense given his protective instincts toward his son Tate and his determination to prevent any further manipulation of his family. Melinda Trask's house of cards collapses. Former district attorney Melinda Trask watches in horror as her meticulously planned adoption fraud begins to disintegrate under Steve Johnson's relentless investigation. The strategic adjustments she and Sophia attempt to make prove inadequate against the mounting evidence of their deception. Melinda's desperation becomes palpable as she realizes that her legal expertise may not be sufficient to extricate her from the web of lies she's constructed. The revelation of Melinda's involvement threatens to expose not just this current scheme, but her entire history of questionable legal practices. Her previous collaboration with Sloane Peterson on Nicole Walker's baby adoption creates a pattern of behavior that prosecutors will find impossible to ignore. The spectre of disbarment looms large, along with the very real possibility of significant prison time at Statesville. Melinda's attempts to maintain control of the situation become increasingly frantic and ill-conceived. Her usual confidence in her ability to manipulate legal loopholes crumbles as she faces opponents who refuse to be intimidated by her former position of authority. The mask of respectability she's worn for years finally slips, revealing the desperate criminal beneath. Ariana Horton's intervention attempt. Ariana Horton, displaying wisdom beyond her years, recognizes the dangerous path her friend Sophia is traveling and decides to stage a crucial intervention. Her attempt to convince Sophia to abandon her unhealthy obsession with Tate Black represents more than just friendly advice. It's a last-ditch effort to save Sophia from complete self-destruct. However, Ariana's well-intentioned words fall on deaf ears as Sophia's fixation has evolved beyond mere teenage infatuation into something far more concerning. Sophia's response to Ariana's intervention reveals the true depth of her psychological investment in her fantasy relationship with Tate. Rather than acknowledging the validity of her friend's concerns, Sophia becomes even more determined to eliminate Holly Jonas as an obstacle to her imagined future. This reaction alarmed those close to the situation, as it demonstrates Sophia's complete disconnection from reality and her willingness to escalate her manipulative tactics regardless of the consequences. The conversation between the two young women becomes a pivotal moment that will define their friendship moving forward. Ariana must decide whether to continue supporting someone whose behavior has become genuinely troubling, while Sophia faces the choice between accepting help or doubling down on a path that leads only to destruction. E.J. Dimmer's strategic calculations. E.J. Dimmer finds himself in the uncomfortable position of evaluating Kat Green's request for employment while simultaneously harboring deep suspicions about her true motivations. His decision-making process involves careful consideration of multiple factors, including his awareness that Kat's presence in Salem is far from coincidental. The job offer becomes a chess move in a larger game where both parties are maneuvering for advantage while maintaining facades of legitimate business interests. The position Kat seeks would provide her with unprecedented access to EJ's operations and confidential information, exactly what Issa handlers need to further their investigation. EJ's corporate instincts tell him to reject her application outright, but his curiosity about her agenda and his desire to control the situation by keeping potential enemies close influences his deliberations. EJ's ultimate decision will have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond simple employment arrangements. By either accepting or rejecting Kat's request, he sets in motion a chain of events that will ultimately determine whether her cover remains intact or explodes in spectacular fashion. Kat Green's dangerous balancing act. Kat Green's covert lunch meetings with Gwen von Leuschner represent the most perilous aspect of her undercover mission, as she attempts to extract crucial information about E.J. Dimmer's operations are maintaining the appearance of casual friendship. These carefully orchestrated encounters require Kat to deploy all her training and natural charisma to manipulate Gwen into revealing sensitive details without arousing suspicion. The complexity of Kat's situation multiplies exponentially as she juggles her growing feelings for Chad with her professional obligations to Issa. Each interaction with Gwen brings her closer to the intelligence her handlers desperately need, but also increases the risk of exposure that could destroy everything she's worked to build in Salem. The psychological toll of maintaining multiple deception simultaneously begins to manifest in small but telling ways that observant individuals like Chad start to notice. Kat's friendship with Gwen evolves into something unexpectedly genuine, creating an additional layer of moral complexity to her mission. She finds herself genuinely liking the woman she's manipulating, adding guilt and internal conflict to an already stressful situation. This emotional investment threatens to compromise her judgment at crucial moments, and clear thinking is essential for survival. The inevitable confrontation. Chad Dimmer's discovery of Kat's apparent friendship with Gwen von Leuschner triggers a confrontation that threatens to expose the carefully constructed lies that have defined their relationship. His warning for Kat to stay away from Gwen stems not just from protective instincts, but from his growing awareness that something fundamental about Kat's presence in Salem doesn't add up. The conversation becomes a minefield where every word carries the potential to trigger revelations that neither party is prepared to handle. Kat's insistence on continuing her friendship with Gwen despite Chad's warnings creates the exact scenario Aissa training prepared her to avoid a situation and maintain it. Cover requires actions that directly contradict the wishes of someone whose trust she desperately needs. Her response to Chad's concerns will determine whether she can salvage their relationship or whether her secrets will finally destroy any possibility of a genuine future together. The stakes of this confrontation extend far beyond personal relationships. The intelligence Kat has gathered through her association with Gwen could prove crucial to Aissa operations, making her mission success worth almost any personal sacrifice. However, the cost of that success may include losing the first real happiness she's found since being drawn back into the dangerous world of international espionage. As these storylines converge during the week of September 1st to 5th, Salem residents will discover that the price of secrets and lies is always higher than anyone anticipates, and that the truth, once unleashed, has the power to destroy even the most carefully constructed facades.